Happy Monday again. Just seems like always in the summer the weeks fly by to me for some reason. They never seem to quite fly by like they do in the summer, especially not in the winter, but here we are. And we've got a whole nother week ahead of us, so happy to have you here, and we'll get started out with a bang. We're going to do a pretty fun flow practice today. Lots of different things. I've been trying my hardest to keep Monday as always kind of a total body flow and get some good detox work in there, and just, you know, all the things that you want to get accomplished on a Monday and get your week started right. So we'll definitely work a little bit, but there's always the opportunity for you to slow down, always the opportunity for you to listen to your body, always the opportunity to do what's right at any given time. And I know that I say that a lot, but I mean it every time I say it, that it is your practice. I am here to offer you some suggestions and help give you some guidance, but I have no idea what it feels like to live in your body. Only you get to know that, which is pretty cool. So please pay attention to what feels good, what's making sense. Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't beat yourself up if you need to change things today. Probably not going to feel exactly like you did yesterday. Tomorrow's going to be different too, so try not to get too attached, because it's just kind of a waste of time. Everything's going to change, you know, from moment to moment, day to day. So make sure you have a little water if you think you might need some. And then away we go. We're going to start actually just in a seat for maybe just a few minutes of getting centered. A few deep breaths for sure. Taking some time to honestly, physically step onto your mat. Find a comfortable seat. When we hear the word yoga asana, right? And for those of you who give a shit about your Sanskrit, which you should, it is asana. Just so you know, it's not asana. Don't let anybody fight you on that. Asana, long A. Asana, the word itself, means to take a seat. That's what it means. So every time we do a posture or an asana, we're really just taking a seat, first and foremost. And what that translates to is that when we come to the mat, before we really do anything else with our body, before we make any shapes, we need to get rooted. We need to get grounded. And the easiest way to ground yourself in your yoga practice is to start with the most basic part of who you are, and that is your breath, right? That's all any of us really are. We come into this world on a breath. We're going to go out of this world on a breath. And every other one that we get to take in between those two is just bonus time. So sit down, close your eyes, focus on your breath for a few moments. Notice how nice it feels to take a slow, deep inhale. And exhale completely. Just a few more times, breathing with a sense of purpose and mindfulness. So much of the breathing we do throughout any given day is pretty subconscious, right? We don't even think about it. It just happens. So this is your opportunity to pay attention to quite literally the most powerful thing that you do every day. And the minute that you stop breathing, that's it, right? That's what determines whether or not we are alive. So notice how good it feels to be alive. be happy and grateful to have gotten up on a bright, sunshiny morning to find your way to your mat and to take some care of your body and your mind. And just let everything else, for a little while, fade away into the distance. Because all you have to do right here, right now, is breathe. Notice the sound and the feel of your inhales and exhales as they continue to deepen. There's going to be a little more volume, a little more texture. You're just going to find that your breath gets more and more interesting the deeper you make it. You have just a few more deep breath cycles and maybe starting to cultivate some thoughts about what else you're happy and grateful for today, what else you plan to set as an intention for your practice, for your day, whatever it may be. I'm going to start us off this Monday morning with a chant called Sahana. And if you know this chant, you're welcome to join me. Without taking too much time, I'll just give you the Cliff Notes version. This chant essentially just asks that we practice together in harmony, and that the result of our practice and our learning and our experience with one another have some greater good impact on our world around us, right? So this is a peace chant, essentially. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvina vadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, and then slowly let your eyes open up. Just come back into your body, back into the present. Let's start to roll the shoulders around a little bit. And let your head start to move gently, freely, just taking some nice little head rolls. And don't rush these movements. Take your time. And if you feel like you want to bring your arms up and over for a little stretch there, go right ahead. You guys keep moving. I'm going to make just a quick adjustment with the camera so I don't have this wicked glare. There we go. Yay, now I can see you again. Everything moving around a little bit, loosening up. Any other stretches that feel good to you here? Good. And then we'll just come back around. If you've been sitting the whole time with one shin in front, put the other one in front for a little while. Just let it have its turn. And then put your hands out here on your knees. And let's do some connecting breath to movement to get us prepared to start flowing our bodies today. So sit up tall, take a deep breath in, and you're just gonna rock your heart center forward a little bit, like you're trying to lean and show me your heart center. And then on your exhale, pull back and now round in, chin to the chest, tucking that navel tight to the spine. You're gonna go back and forth like that a couple of times. This is seated cat-cow. Inhale, rock forward. Don't let your sits bones leave the ground. You're gonna stay there. Exhale, round and rock back. Now connect the breath. Exhale, round back, pull the navel in tight. So we're really just borrowing this movement from the Kundalini tradition. You see this a lot if you go to Kundalini class. It's rocking or flexion of the spine. Connect the breath. Make it even more powerful. Inhale. Exhale, rock. So not only are we warming up the spine, but you're going to start to feel a little bit of warmth make its way into your hip girdle. So we get the low back, lumbar spine waking up. And then you're also naturally drawing some awareness to your bandhas here, right? Especially Mula Bandha, that very deepest root lock of the body, same place as your root chakra. There's another good Sanskrit word to practice. It is chakra, by the way, not chakra. Just so you know. Good things to know, right? Take ownership of your practice, right down to the language that you use. It's important. Couple more. Rock it forward and back. Inhale. Rock back, exhale. One more time. Forward. Hold for a moment. And can you just keep that breath in your body? Close your eyes and imagine from that root lock place, Mula Bandha, all the way to the crown of your head. Fill up and then exhale. Rock back. And let it all out. And then you can return to Ujjayi Pranayama if you'd rather be breathing in and out through your nose. Just know if you get warm throughout the practice today, it's always okay to exhale out your mouth. All right, we'll slow that down. Take a couple hip circles, shoulder circles, whatever else feels good here. Just rolling out that spine, keeping the midsection of your body warm. And reverse it around. And there's really no right or wrong way to do this. We're just making some movements and shapes that feel good and bring us into our body. And capture, again, your attention by just staying focused on the breath. And when you've had enough, cross your ankles, tuck them underneath, and let's come on out to all fours. Just work your way into a little tabletop shape there. And root down through all 10 fingers, pressing through the tips of the fingers and then the space between your first finger and your thumb, just to keep you grounded and alive in your upper body. So you're going to feel like you could pull some energy right up through your forearms, elbows to the shoulders, and then round the back and exhale. Just same thing. Moving right into that same spinal flexion, cat-cow here on the hands and knees. You've probably got a little bit more range of motion now that you're up on all fours, so take advantage. And once or twice more through. Exhale, always on the cat stretch. Inhale. As the belly drops, tilt the tail, lift the chin. Good, let's go one more. Exhale through to cat. Inhale, belly drops for cow. Stay with me here. Tuck the toes from cow pose and then lift your hips and stretch back, downward facing dog. Hips up nice and high and pedal through your feet a few times. And waking up the backside body now, moving into the hamstrings. Probably gonna feel good to swivel your heels and toes, right to left, left to right. Maybe a couple of deep bends in the knees. Just take some time to work it out. And next big inhale, shift your weight out to high plank. And if you need to make an adjustment with your stance, go right ahead. Not everybody's down dog will take them to a perfect plank. That's a pretty common misnomer that you hear in yoga class, is that your plank should be exactly like your down dog. Not for everybody, we're all different, right? So if you need to step things around a little bit, shoulders stack over the elbows, elbows over the wrists, good. And then pull all those low belly muscles back up and in. Use your core. Plank with me here for 5. Warming up, 4, 3, you're pushing the earth away, 2, and 1. Go ahead, take your first vinyasa, elbows tight to the ribs. You can go all the way or halfway, that's your choice. Chaturanga, flip the toes, inhale. Cobra's a little back bend. Up dog is a slightly bigger stretch. And then whether you use your knees or your core strength, you take it up and back to downward facing dog. You're right back where you started. Exhale completely in down dog. Listen close. Drop to your knees and then just roll up so that you're standing on the knees in a kneeling position. Good. Hands can find your hips or turn your fingers down so that they point toward your tailbone. I always say, just like you've got your hands in your back pockets. And then gently on this first one. No need to go diving back into some massive extreme back bend here. Just lift up your heart a little bit. Stretch the front of the body, just a soft little baby camel pose, Ustrasana. And exhale, release to a seated position, eyes wide open as you come down so you don't get too dizzy. Right hand will reach or drop out to the side and stretch up on the left side. And back through the middle, inhale. Take it over the other way. Left hand drops, right arm reaches. Sit tall, hands meet around behind the back. Lock those fingers together. Squeeze your inner thighs in to remind you to tighten up your belly. And then take as much of a bow forward as you'd like. Belly on the thighs, lift the knuckles, forehead on the ground. Or if you know that it's not too much and your neck can handle it, you can lift your hips, roll more toward the crown of your head. Try not to take too much weight in the top of your head there. Just a little stretch. And then release. Hips back to the heels. Shift your hands out in front. Rock your weight out to all fours. Good. Round the back on your exhale. So you just built your warm up without even knowing it. Stretch through the back side of the body, cat. Inhale. Drop your belly. Lift your gaze. There's cow. Tuck your toes. Deep breath in. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Forward on your next inhale, out to high plank. On the exhale, lower with me here. Chaturanga, all the way or halfway. Up dog or cobra, inhale through for a back bend. Downward facing dog, full breath out. Drop to the knees. Inhale, roll up through the spine. Find your hips or your low back. Exhale, push back, open up. Now, if the spine starts to warm up, it's okay to go deeper, but really don't force yourself into anything you're not ready for. Go ahead and release into a seat. Drop your left hand first. Right arm will reach up, side body stretch, or seated version here, kneeling version rather, of Parigrasa, Gates pose, taking it side to side. Back through the middle. Hands lock it up. You can always try that second side grip, other thumb on top. Open up your heart, belly on your thighs, or lift your hips and roll into your shoulder stretch. 2, 1. Take it back down. We're going to keep going like that for a little while here. Hands out in front. Shift up. Find all fours on your inhale. Exhale, round first. Cat. Drop the belly. Lift the gaze, there's cow, tuck the toes. Take it back to downward facing dog, hips up nice and high. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga, urdhva bhujangasana. Lift your heart, gaze up just a little. Don't crank that neck back, just roll the eyes up. There you go, back to downward facing dog. Drop to your knees. Roll up. Now you can just make this movement through the spine a little more fluid. Doesn't have to be so rigid. Just go right back into your back bend. Exhale, release, take a seat. Drop the right hand. Left arm comes up. Now, if you want here, you can stay with the side stretch, or you can lift and sneak the left leg out as far as it feels good. Long side body stretch. That's the full version. Parigrasa, Gates pose, and you just swing through the middle, take it the other way. Back to center, hands lock up behind. Lift the heart, open the chest, breathe in, Take a bow. If you don't want to bow down, you can just stay seated there. And as far with that as you want to go. We're going through again one more time. Come back up. Inhale. Find your way to tabletop. Exhale, round. Next breath in, belly drops. Lift the chin, tilt the tail, tuck the toes. Back to down dog you go. Forward to a high plank. Halfway or all the way. If you're in the mood here to maybe sneak in a little reverse, get an extra push-up, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, just don't stop breathing. You get back to downward facing dog. Then you drop to your knees and you come up and as deep of a back bend as you're ready for. You stay facing forward. I'm just turning to the side to remind you that when you make a camel stretch, hips have to go forward. You can't just go straight back, right? You gotta go up like you're bending over a big beach ball. And then if it's time to grab those heels and you're warmed up enough to do that, now's your opportunity. If not, just stay where you're comfortable. One more breath, and then eyes open wide as you sit down. Just let it pass you by. Drop your left hand. Right arm just comes up, or you're gonna lift, sneak into a deeper stretch. And through center, other way around. Left arm up, maybe the left leg out. Reach and stretch. Pull the low belly muscles in. Good. Back to center last time. Bind the hands, Bakasana. Open the chest. Take it down. And hold on to this shoulder stretch a little bit longer. 4, 3, 2, and then drop the hips, drop the arms, and you just stretch your hands out in front, make it a full child's pose. And you open up the backside body there. Good. From child's pose, slide out onto your belly, legs behind you. Might need to just wiggle yourself back a little bit. Right, press into your palms and lift your elbows. Deeper stretch here. It's kind of in between Cobra and Up Dog. This is one of my favorite postures of all time. King Cobra pose, right? So Raja Bhujangasana. You think about how a cobra lifts that whole top part of their body and their head, and then the rest of them is still on the ground. So everything from your belly button on down is still like a little snake body. And then release. Slowly, everything comes to the mat. Hands slide back. Good. Take it up. This time just right through your tabletop to down dog. Hips up nice and high, and we're gonna move on. Okay, feeling warmed up now. Let's start to build our flow for the day. We're gonna take it real slow one time through. It's a pretty decent flow in terms of postures. There's quite a few poses here, or at least I'm thinking there will be. You never know. I just build these babies as we go. So here we go. We'll give it a shot. We'll get slow and then one good flow through, at least maybe two. We'll see where we're at for time. Right leg up behind you. Take any version of three-legged dog. If you want to bend the knee or open the hip, or maybe try a couple of other tricks there. There's all kinds of things. You can flip your dog. You can try reaching your left hand back to find your right foot. Some tricky stuff. Otherwise, stay where you're comfortable, and then when you're ready, we'll swing through and step into a low lunge. So try as hard as you can to bring that foot through, even if it takes a few steps. Good, without dragging it. And then hold on to the low lunge. You're just gonna let your back knee tap down for a moment. Barely tap the kneecap. Push the hips up. Flex the front toes. Going right into that lunge to pyramid back and forth a few times. Again, drop down, back knee taps, lift the chest. Maybe the gaze goes up a little bit. That's the inhale. Exhale, press back, flex. Okay, one more time. Low lunge. Inhale, lift your heart center up, broad across the collarbones. Exhale, back to pyramid variation. Front toes can come up off the ground, and you hold that flexed foot and breathe. Forehead towards your shin for 3, 2, and 1. Put your weight back into your front foot, and slowly, carefully this first time through, we're just going to lift off the back foot for a little standing split. Left leg can float really honestly just to 90 degrees. That's a perfectly fine position for standing split. It really isn't an open hip pose, so try not to turn those left toes out. Keep all 5 of your left toes pointing down toward the ground. And then if there's still room for you to lift higher, you can, but it's not necessary. Just breathe right there. Right. Same thing, you're still folding your forehead towards your right shin. You got it. 3, 2, gaze forward slowly. Inhale, lift your chest a little bit. We're going to take this curtsy squat down to the ground here. So just drop your hips down. All right. So that's going to leave you with the right leg up and over. Make a little adjustment with your seat if you can. And then sit up nice and tall. Stretch the spine. Left arm will just hook here, or you can put the elbow on the outside for more leverage. Sit up and start to twist. And we'll give it at least 5 or 6 breaths in this first twist. Can't get my mouth working today. 4, keep breathing. You guys stay there. Again, I'm just gonna make a little adjustment here. Keep getting behind the light a tad. There. Okay. 3, 2, and 1. Unwind from that twist, come around to the front. Just take a soft counter twist to the other side. Maybe get a good back crack in there like I just did. Yes. Bonus. Back around to the front, and then put your hands back behind you here. You're just going to lean back into your hands, kick your bottom leg out completely in front, and then let this right leg find its way into maybe a figure 4 stretch if it feels okay. My right ankle is above my left kneecap. If you're on top of your knee, that's going to suck. We don't want that. We want to be above it a little bit and just let the knee fall open there. If this is not going to work, then just put your foot on the inside of your thigh, seated tree pose. Good. Good. Really bendy hip, people. If you're a Lotus position person, you can move your heel all the way up into the crease of this hip. Remember, we're just warming up still, essentially. So these postures, we're going to give them a little extra time. We're not going to force anything. So from any one of those positions, you can just place your hands on the ground if that's good enough for you and lean forward a tad. If you can reach this foot and it doesn't cause too much distress in the outside of your hip or your low back, then go for it. But remember, do what you do, don't do what you don't do. Just keep breathing and stretching right here. 5, 4. That is my expensive tennis shoe. Thank you very much. Leave it. Go on. 3. Go lay down. Babe. Ladies and gentlemen, babe. Go on, babe. 2. All right, come on up on 1. Wherever you're at, you're going to release that position of the right foot and take them both out long. Go on. Right in front of you. So this flow is gonna move us all around the mat. We're gonna be up, we're gonna be down, we're gonna be somewhere in between a few times. Come out, find your toes, your feet, or your shins, wherever you can comfortably stretch this morning, and fold. Breathe right there. Think more about lengthening through your spine than your hamstrings. You know, the hamstrings are always gonna come along for the ride, so. Bless you. And then slowly bring it up. All right, knees come up with you. You're gonna get 3 rocks up and down the length of your spine. If you don't do spinal rocking right now for any reason whatsoever, you're gonna take tree stump pose, which looks just like this. Grabbing your elbows and just sitting up really tall and stretching your spine here as you push your feet down. Rock and rollers, here we go. 3 times we're gonna rock. Once, twice, 3 times, and then everybody can cross their ankles, plant their hands. Take it through from high to low, back through chaturanga. Heart center comes up. We're not done with the right side yet. We go back to downward facing dog and lift the right leg again. Take it high. Good. Step through. This time, back foot drops into position, and we're going to come up for warrior 2. So nice, low, deep position in the hips. We've warmed things up a little bit. Should feel okay to hit this posture. And then once you've got it, breathe. Right, go back to the breathing. 3, 2, 1. Add on side angle pose as deep as you want to go. You can stop right here, elbow on the knee. Otherwise, maybe you're going to reach a little further down and a little further out with the top arm. Same thing, about 5 breaths. 3, 2. We're gonna stay in this low position. Look down on 1, both hands on the ground, and you rotate off that back heel because we're gonna push off the back foot and take a step forward, feet side by side, get low, Utkatasana. I'm gonna scoot back just a tad. There we go. Drop into the hips. Heart center lifts up, palms come together. So we start with Utkatasana, hands go to the heart. Stay with me here, a little bit deeper. Let's go right side twist. Told you there was a lot of this flow coming at you. Good news is this is really pretty much the last pose. I'm gonna stay right there. Keep twisting, keep exhaling all that old toxic garbage out of your body. Even if you're a healthy person, even if you don't necessarily put toxin into your body will always produce it because it's just a natural byproduct of letting things go. So twisting is one of the greatest ways to encourage your body to let go of some of that stuff it doesn't need to hold on to. And sometimes we're just talking about emotional toxin, right? Things that build up from just living in the world around us. Take it back to your heart, and then we're gonna dismount here with just lifting the heels, coming into a toe stand for a brief moment. Thighs should be on fire by now. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold that toe stand for 3, 2. Hands go down. You'll have the opportunity to put an arm balance in here eventually, but for now, just step, hop, or jump the feet back and take another vinyasa. Up dog cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Okay, so that's a hell of an opening sequence. Drop to your knees for a moment. Take a little sip of water. Have a special moment with your towel if you need to. And then we'll do it slow like that on the other side. Okay. So when you feel like you're ready, draw that internal energy and awareness back in. Close your eyes. Remember that it's just you and your breath here on the mat. Don't get too overwhelmed. Come on out. Meet me in downward facing dog and lift your left leg up nice and high. Any three-legged downward facing dog variations that you want to do. Tricks are welcome. Flip dogs. Trying to reach back. Find your left foot with your right hand is always fun. Or just staying put and breathing contently can also be a challenge all on its own. When you decide that you've had enough time here to play around a little bit, gaze forward, take a big step right through the hands, and we start in low lunge. Remember that we tap the back knee down, pull the heart center up a little bit. There you are. And then press back, a little flex of the toes. Do that a couple more times. You drop down, inhale. We're looking for that hip flexor stretch. Can you feel that on the right side? Go ahead, press back and forehead toward the left shin. Good, one more time there. Drop down, tap, inhale. Exhale, press back, flex the toes and hold this one now. 5. You don't have to flex the front foot, you can keep it down, but it does bring a little bit of intensity and excitement to kind of good old basic pyramid stretch. It's simplest way to spice this pose up. 2, 1, and then gaze forward, and we're going to put your weight into your front foot, float off the back foot for a couple breaths. And that feels good. You've got your balance. Take a slightly bigger dive in, and remember all 5 of your right toes point down toward the ground. Keep breathing here. Two, 1, gaze forward. Start to bend into your left knee, and we're going to sneak that right one behind, a little curtsy squat all the way down. Readjust when you hit the mat so that you're centered, 2 sits bones, tailbone on the mat. That feels good. Set up for your twist. Another opportunity here to really just flush out your system. Hugging the knee, hooking the knee, pull the heart center up, and then exhale. Work the rotation on your exhalation. Good. 4. 3. 2. 1. Unwind. We go around the other way for a couple breaths. Counter twist. And back to center. Hands behind you just a little bit, and then rock back so that you can release the bottom leg out front. Now you've got options. You can stay figure 4 position just like that. You can slide this heel up further toward a lotus if that feels good. Here's an example, me, of someone who has a really tight lotus pose, meaning that both my hip, which is where lotus starts, everybody thinks that lotus starts at your knee, but it starts at your hip, right? So my hips are tight, and I've got knees that are generally pretty tight as well. So it doesn't mean I can't do the pose. It just means that I have to be very aware that there's a lot of space right here. And so maybe I support that posture a little bit so that I can really relax. Sometimes when this leg is just hanging, you'll feel like you've got extra tension that doesn't need to be there. So just a little support will help. Or right on the inside is fine. You pick which one you like. And then if a forward fold seems like it's doable, add a forward fold. If not, just sit up tall and breathe, right? This is a perfectly fine place to stay. If I wanted to stick with my Lotus today here, I probably wouldn't do too much folding. And everybody's, body is different. So just because you don't have a comfortable Lotus doesn't mean that you don't have a strong yoga practice. That's neither here nor there. Things come and go anyway throughout life. So that's why it's always best to just don't get too attached to any particular yoga pose, even if it's one that you really, really like. Because someday it might not be part of your practice anymore. And then you feel this sense of disappointment where there's no need for that. As long as you're getting on your mat, doesn't matter what you do. As long as you're taking some time to take care of your body and breathe, that's a yoga practice. Hands down. Doesn't have to be a circus show necessarily. All right, come on up. That's not to say we all have those days, right, where everything's working and it feels good and you can do all your tricks and yay. But you have to appreciate the days where everything doesn't go your way either. Still be happy about it. Shake everything out, both legs in front. Paschimottanasana. Reaching for your feet. You can go around your big toes. You can wrap your arms under your legs, or just set your hands where you're most comfortable. Focus just as much on lengthening your spine as you are on lengthening your legs. So think crown of the head touching the feet one day. Even if it never happens, it doesn't matter. It's just sort of the intention of the posture, the directionality of the pose is to lengthen forward. Three, two, one. Roll up, rock back, and bring those knees in. Now remember, if you don't like to do spinal rolling or you just have any kind of back injury at the moment that prevents you from doing so, just sit here. Hold your elbows, wrap your arms around your legs, and sit up really tall. Push your feet down and lengthen the spine. Stambasana, or tree stump pose, I should say. Or you can rock with me a couple times up and down. Rolling that spine feels good. You can try rocking down the left side, rocking up the right side once. Go down the right and up the left. And then after a little momentum, cross the ankles, plant the hands. We take a vinyasa right here. That's the midway point of the flow. We go back up to down dog, and we stay with the left leg a little bit longer. Left leg high one more time. And big step through warrior two, back heel down. Rise up, find that warrior pose. All right, so as you take it open to the side, you've got a good strong position in the hips here. You're not forcing them open, they just naturally sit open to the side. You're gonna use your inner thighs to do the heavy lifting here. So pull up from the inner arches of your feet, engage, and then the rest is coming from the bandhas. Low belly pulled in tight. Good. Vira Bhadrasana. That's your warrior. Reach forward when you're ready. Take a longer stretch out. Or modified version is to keep the heart open and just stay right there, elbow on the thigh. Side angle pose, Parshvakonasana. 3, 2, good. Gaze down on one. Turn both hands to the ground and rotate on your back foot, right? Without full momentum, make sure you use, again, some power from your core to step forward and slide those feet side by side. Zip the knees up, right? Stay right where you're at. I'm gonna step back just a tad. Get low with me here, Utkatasana. Palms pull together. Stay in that shape. of power and intensity. That is what the pose means. Ut, intense, kata, fierce or ferocious. A little bit deeper, and then hands to heart center. Let's inhale again. Big twist here. Rotate. Sink the hips even lower. 3, 2. Stay with it, stay with it. On 1, back to your heart. Lift your heels. Lower, lower, lower. That should be the most intense part of the flow right there, that lowering down. Keep bringing your shoulder blades back like you're just right along the wall behind you. Squeeze your inner thighs, your knees, your ankle bones. Pull up Mula Bandha. Toe stand for 2. And 1, hands down. Now, if you just can't resist and you're ready, hips go up, knees go on the backs of the arms. Float the feet into Bakasana or Kakasana, crane or crow, and then back to Chaturanga. Up dog. Ooh, downward facing dog. And down to the knees. Take a moment right here to do whatever you please for a few breaths. If you feel like you need to stretch out your wrists a little bit, if you just need a little water break, maybe just sit back into hero. Let any unnecessary tension go from your body. And wait till you feel a little bit of shift, a little bit of energy change, like all of that intensity has started to subside. And then we're going to flow 1 time through here at the end, okay? So we'll take it all the way from start to finish. Why don't you come on out when you're ready? Inhale to meet me in tabletop pose. And let's really go back to the beginning. Inhale, all 4s. Exhale, cat stretch. Inhale, cow. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring it out to a high plank. Move through the vinyasa. Now, if I get going too quick, you slow down, delete a few poses, or just move at a pace that works for you. From your down dog, exhale, we'll go from here. Right leg up high, bend the knee, open the hip. If you want to flip or do anything else, you've got a breath here to make your favorite expression in the pose. And then you take it back around and you step through low lunge. Now this is going to be 1 time. Exhale, that back knee taps. If you want to add in fancy arms up and over, feel free. Hands come back down. Press the hips high, flex the toes. Pyramid stretch, fold. Gaze forward. Shift your weight into your front foot, float off the back one. Fold right there. If you'd like, inhale, lift your left arm, and now you may open those hips if you want to make a half moon for a breath. As you close the pose, swing your left leg behind you and sit down. Land on the mat, take a deep breath in. Left arm comes up and around. Exhale to get the shape of the twist. 1 breath in, sit tall. 1 breath out, twist. When you're empty, inhale around the other way. Stay, exhale, counter twist. Back to center. Kick that bottom leg out. Pull the top foot into any position that you'd like. 1 big inhale, 1 big exhale, fold. Back up to sit tall. Both legs out, and again, same thing. Big breath, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Maybe you're starting to go a little deeper now. Sit up. Bring your knees in for a quick squeeze or one good rock. Ready? Rock back, rock up and cross. Right through vinyasa. Lift your heart. Lift your right leg in your down dog. Step through, find your warrior two. Back heel down, inhale, ride the breath up. Side angle pose. Full breath in. Take a look down, pivot on that back foot. Now on your step up, if you feel like you want to hang in a warrior three for a moment, why not? And set your feet down, reach your arms up. Utkatasana. Palms press right away. One twist. You got it. Deep breath in. Back to heart center. Lower down. Hands hit the ground. Hips go up. Bakasana. Or you can skip that part and just jump back. We're right through to up dog. Cobra, and the left leg lifts when you hit down dog. Yes, you can. Stay with me. Breathe. Open your hip if you want to. Flip your dog if you want to. Just options, not requirements. Listen to your body. Come back around. Step through. Stay low. Tap the back knee. Maybe the arms come up. Hands hit the mat. Hips go high. Push back. Pyramid stretch with the front toes flexed. Shift your weight. Now, we went slow before, so you kind of know all these poses. Give yourself some room for creativity now that you know where you're going. Back foot can float, or you can turn that into a half moon by lifting your right hand and opening your right hip. Either way, both hands back to the mat, and a curtsy squat will get you down to the ground. Swing the right knee behind. Take a seat, adjust if you need to. Whoo-wee. It's hot up in the attic today. Right, and it wasn't really all that warm. If you were up early this morning, it's actually nice and cool outside. It felt good, but just a little toasty up here right now. Sit tall with me. One breath. Notice, we're not going to round. We're going to lengthen, then rotate. All the exhale out. Good. Back around through the middle. Inhale. Little counter twist on the exhale. Center up, hands behind. Rock back, flip that bottom foot out front. Left leg goes into any of those three shapes that we've been working with. Half lotus, Janu Shirshasana, or figure four. Big breath in, yeah, as much length as you need on the exhale to fold. Then you sit tall, you release feet side by side, and you do it again. Here's your opportunity to kind of even out the sides of the body, even out the hips, even out the spine. Even more so when you come up, a little spinal reset by bringing the knees in for a squeeze, or one rock back, up and cross the ankles, shoot through. You're almost there. That's your last vinyasa. Done and done. Cross that off the list. Left leg up. One last time. Step it through. Warrior two is the pose. Set the feet, set the foundation, ride the breath to the top. Exhale, right to side angle. Take a look down. Coming off that back foot. You can step straight up, or if you'd like, maybe a little hanging warrior three. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Feet side by side, drop down, reach up. Stay right where you're at there. Good, hands come together, twist. Last one, here it is. Inhale, exhale out. Back to the middle. Touch your heart to your thumbs. Yeah, get your bottom ribs up off your belly. Lift your heels. Squat down with me. Toe stand. Or last chance for Bakasana. If you really want to end with a bang and a big finale today, you can go from your crow to your headstand from your headstand. Back to a plank, and then listen. If you're already back, you just step, hop, or jump back. Meet us in plank. Just a plank. We held 1 for 5 at the beginning. We're going to hold 1 for 5 at the end, and then lower to our bellies, and we're pretty much done. So stay with me, fans. Stay with me, family. We can do it. 5, 4, 3. Maybe shaking just a little bit here at the end. I know I am. Hang in there, hang in there. 2 and 1. No vinyasa, just a lower. All the way down. And when you get to the bottom, relax. Stretch your arms out in front. Let your head drop down. All right, hands back alongside you. If you're not there already, try to soften your shoulders, shake out your oh my God, I cannot talk today. Shake out your hips a little bit. Jesus. And then bring one ear down to the mat. Ugh. Now, if it feels good to you to draw your big toes together, let your heels flop apart. That might feel good in your low back. If just being here on your belly is not what you're hoping for, then flip over onto your back and stay there. But we are going to just kind of drop right into Shavasana mode for a few moments. After a couple breaths, you can always turn your head to the other side. But just see how quickly you can challenge yourself to go right from all that hard work straight into final relaxation. To just, it's a big downshift for your central nervous system, right? To be able to go from all of that intensity, all of that strength and perseverance that it took to get through those last few moments of the practice, and then be able to just slip right into a place of relaxation. It's good for your body. It's even better for your brain. Hi. Stay with it for a few more moments. Babe, don't knock that over. Come lay down. It's Shavasana time. Lay down. Lay down. I know. And feel your breathing slow back down. Good. And then I'm going to let you just decide how long you want to rest right there. After your resting period today, make sure that, if there's a couple little last minute shapes that you want to do before you get off your mat, you do all the things that you want to do. Be sure that you give yourself at least a couple moments. I thank you so much. They're going to kick me off of here. My time's running out, so I'll just say namaste. Have a